It's given some feedback. Hopefully it'll quit that. Good morning. My name is Alicia. I go by Allie. And I'm so excited to talk to you guys today. I've only spoken at one other conference, but here's the thing that I love. I love that we're all connected through the Spirit, right? So the same Spirit that I was meeting with in Summerall, Mississippi is the same Spirit that is here tonight or today. And He has a message for you. And He's pursuing you and drawing you and wooing you to Himself. And there is a reason why you are here today. And I want to start by opening in prayer and just asking the Spirit to just move in this place. Dear Jesus, Spirit of the living God, we welcome you in this place. And I thank you for those who have spoken before me, Lord. And I just ask that you would put your words in my mouth as I speak right now, Lord. And I just pray that you would just draw hearts to yourself. In your name I pray. Amen. So Nancy spoke on Leah, and I am going to speak to you guys about Joseph, who is also a member of this family. Worship is kind of a touchy subject. I think a lot of times we approach it with like this misconception that it is supposed to be joyful. When you walk in those doors, you better have your act together. You better have every hair in place. Don't you let your mask slip. And worship has become almost a performance. And I want to talk to you about raw, real worship. A sacrificial praise where it is work to lift your arms because you are so broken. So Joseph was the last son of Jacob and Rachel, the wife that Jacob loved. Is that good? That better? Okay. And I can switch to a regular mic too. So Rachel was his mother, the wife that Jacob loved. And Jacob favored this son above all of his other sons. And it bred bitterness, rage, a murderous spirit in his brothers because of this favor. And most of you will remember he actually gave him a visual representation of this favor in the form of a colorful cloak. But it says that God's favor was on Joseph. And when he was 17, is this good? Is it making too much feedback? Okay. Okay, better? Oh, wonderful. Okay, so when he was 17, the Lord came to him in a dream. Okay, so he comes to his brothers and he says, listen to this dream that I have had. He says, we're all out in the field and we're preparing the sheaves, and my sheaf stands up. And all of your sheaves gather around mine, and y'all bow down to me. Okay, can you see this arrogance right here? Okay, this is a gift from God. Like, this is the Lord speaking to Joseph. But yet, when he conveys this dream, it is not life-giving, right? His brothers are hot to trot, okay? Like, they are livid. And they hatch this plan. They say, let's kill him. I'm done with this. Let's kill him. And they decide, well, here's this pit. We're just going to throw him in here and figure out what to do. So they come back, and then this traveling caravan of Ishmaelites comes by. And they're like, we don't even have to kill him. Let's just sell him. We're going to get him out of our hair. And so they sell him, they take his cloak, they rip it, and they slaughter a ram, and they cover it in his blood. Interestingly, Jacob also deceived his father to snatch Esau's blessing with a ram. Right? So this same deception is being passed on to his children, and he is also himself deceived by a ram. And there is something to be said about that generational passing of sin. So, to cover their offense, they bring it to their father. In a matter of moments, this arrogant boy is stripped of all of his comfort and his freedom. Joseph is led to Egypt and becomes a slave in Potiphar's house. Potiphar is like second only to Pharaoh, right? And because the favor of the Lord is on Joseph, everything that he puts his hand to prospers. Don't miss this. The favor of God is still on Joseph. He has been stripped. He has been stripped of his freedom. He has been stripped of his comfort, but the favor of God still follows him. And so Potiphar gives him authority over everything in his household, and everything that he puts his hand to prospers. Then Pharaoh's wife sets her sights on him, or Potiphar's wife sets her sights on him and starts making advances. And he's like, how could I do this to my master? There's no way. And she becomes more and more aggressive until one day she snatches him by his cloak. He leaves it behind. He flees the room, and she tells her husband, he attacked me. Okay? He's thrown into prison. He is stripped again of his life, of his freedom. Where is the justice in that? In this dark place where he is thrown into this dungeon, did the favor of God leave? Does the favor of God leave you in the dark? No, it followed him. So pay close attention. It says in Genesis 39:21, but the Lord was with Joseph, and he extended his kindness to him. Have you ever felt like you were in that place where you just feel stripped? You feel like you are just on the floor. God can meet you in that place. His kindness extends to you through your suffering. And then here's the cool thing. You have authority in that place. You have an authority given to you by God over your suffering. It says that he was granted favor in the prison. The warden put him over all of the prisoners, and everything that he did prospered again. And the warden didn't worry with anything that was under Joseph's control. Everything that he did was successful. December of last year, my family was stripped. found myself in a place where I was begging God, please let it end. Please come and meet us here. I was in a place where you dread to open your eyes because you just don't know that you have the strength to face the day. And God met me in that place. And he told me, he said, Allie, let it break. He said, I'm about to pursue your husband, and he has to be broken, and you have to get out of the way and let it happen. He told me, you have to follow him into this brokenness so that you can follow him into healing. And so my prayer began to change because I was so grateful that he was pursuing him. That was an answer to my prayers. I have been praying for years for God to get a hold of my husband. So just out of sheer gratitude, I thanked him for what he was about to do. And my prayers shifted from God, let it end, to God, leave me where you want to leave me. Move me where you want to move me. And teach me what you want me to see while I'm in this place. Let it have its full effect on my life. And I will wait for you. Waiting is work. It is a labor in itself. It is exhausting as you wait for God to show up for you in your brokenness. God's kindness extends to us in that place. And let me tell you that I have an intimacy with the Lord now that I did not have before. When you come to a place in Deuteronomy, it says, man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. When his word becomes your food, when that is all you have, when that is what you are clinging to, is your presence, like, God, I have nothing else. I have been stripped. I have nothing. Every comfort, everything that I have worked for in my life is just gone. But you are pursuing me, and I am grateful, and I am thankful, and I will offer you a sacrifice of praise. His kindness is there in that moment because he reveals himself to you in a way that you have never seen before. He is Jehovah El Roi, the God who sees. He is Jehovah Rapha, our healer, and he is Jehovah Jireh, our provider. And every ounce of your suffering he uses. He doesn't waste it. You are not suffering because it is a punishment from God. You are not suffering because God hates you. There is a purpose in the pain, and he will use it. We find Joseph in the prison. He's been given this authority, right? This is the part that I love. He comes in, and the verse says, he came in the morning to see that 2 of his prisoners were distraught.
So he asked Pharaoh's officers who were in custody with him in his master's house, "Why are you so sad?" Joseph had not seen his victory. Joseph was actively suffering in the dark, but he was still tapped into his purpose. He still was looking into the eyes of the people around him and tuned into their suffering. And he still had hope to offer. Do you, as you sit here today in your wilderness season, have hope to offer? Can women and men alike look at you and look at your life and where you are at right now and see God's favor on your life? Can you see it? Can you see through the pain, or is that all that you see? Can you see God's kindness pursuing you in your valley right now? Because I guarantee if you look, you will see it. There is always something that we can choose to be grateful for. There is always something, a blessing that God has given us in our valley because he loves us. We are daughters. He doesn't just take us and lead us to a valley and then remove his hand. He is with you. I want you to hear something. You have a story that is meant to bring life. You have a testimony that is meant to be shared. Your brokenness can speak to the world in a way that your wholeness never could. You have been granted much. Your testimony is meant to be a vector to bring healing, not for us to be broken forever. In 1 Timothy, it says, practice these things. By these things, it means your spiritual gifts that have been given to you from the Lord. And it says, be committed to them so that your progress may be evident to all. Pay close attention to your life and your teaching. Persevere in these things, for in doing so, listen, you will save not only yourself, but your hearers as well. It is meant to bring life. He brings dead things back to life. He breathes into bones and they live. He can breathe into you today and you can live. There is a joy that is within us, even through tears, because we serve a God who sees us in our broken places. There was not a moment when I was on the floor in my room praying to God that he did not see me. And there is not a moment of your life that he has not seen. Obedience is the highest form of worship. You do what God is telling you to do before your victory. You do not have to be whole to pour out. You do not have to isolate and nurse your wounds before you step out for the Lord. You go as you go. That's how he designed us. He designed us for community. Our mask needs to come off. It is okay to be broken. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. Nobody relates to somebody who has everything together. That is not a testimony. If you have your life together, if you have never suffered, you have no testimony. You are relatable because of your struggle. You are relatable because of your pain. That's where he meets us. That's his goodness. When you meet another woman on the road, I've walked through miscarriage. When I meet another woman on the road at my church or whatever, and she tells me, I've had a miscarriage and I'm struggling. I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to face the day. Do you know what? That is God's goodness, that I have felt that pain, because I can comfort her with the same comfort that he offered me. I know what it feels like. I have that deep empathy and that encouragement that only comes from having experienced it. You have that. He has gifted you. The two men in the prison tell Joseph, we've had these dreams, that's why we're distraught. We don't know what they mean. Who can know? And listen to this shift in how Joseph answers. He says, don't interpretations belong to the Lord? Tell me your dream. He has gone from confidence in himself and his own ability to confidence in God and his ability to equip him. That's the shift that comes from the suffering, right? He would never have been prepared for Pharaoh's courts had he not been acquainted and transformed with the prison. He wouldn't have been ready. God is equipping you as you go. They tell him their dreams, and he interprets them rightly. 3 days pass, and the cupbearer is reinstated into Pharaoh's palace, and the baker is killed. He's hanged. And Joseph says to the cupbearer, remember me. Don't forget me. And do you know what happens? He's forgotten. He's left. He was walking in his purpose. He was actively looking for those he can extend hope to. And God leaves him there for 2 more years. That part just gets me, because the disappointment he must have felt. God, this is it. You're finally going to give me my freedom. I can see it. I can taste it. I'm doing the right thing. I have not sinned. I did nothing to deserve this, and yet I have been left here. You have left me here. And he has to wait 2 more years. Some of you tonight have disappointments so deeply rooted in your hearts. And it's time to let it go. Bitterness has weaved its way into your heart because of your circumstances. And I am here to tell you that he is bigger than your disappointment. When he told me what was coming at the December of last year, he said, Allie, this next year is going to be a year of favor for you, but it's going to come in hardship. And I just had to sit with that. What the heck? What does that mean? I don't want hardship. I've been through hardship. We've been living in hardship. What do you mean? What does that mean? And he's like, okay, you're going to sell your house. You're going to sell it, and you're going to move, and you're going to be okay. I'm going to provide for you. And so in my mind, y'all, this is how my mind was working. All right, I'll do it. I will be radically obedient, and then everything's going to work out. I'm going to be fine. God promised me favor. He told me that if I do this thing, this hard thing, this is going to be a year of favor. And then I did. And I did the hard, and I left. And you know what? I still haven't seen it yet. And I've been wrestling with that disappointment. God, you told me this. But guess what? He said to me, he said, and I want you to listen, I never promised it on your timeline. I never said that. And now, on top of the disappointment of your circumstances, now you have self-imposed disappointment because of unmet expectation for things I never promised you. How many times do we create a narrative? Okay, I'm going to follow the Lord, and everything's going to be great. I'm going to follow the Lord. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to teach Sunday school. I'm going to come to church. I'm going to bring my family to church. So that means my children will just all love the Lord. I'm never going to walk through anything hard because I'm doing the right thing. No. That is not his promise. But then we wrestle with these disappointments of things that if we were honest with ourselves, if we would be still before the Lord, he could tell us, like, you're wrong. I want to encourage you to search your heart. Where are your disappointments? Where are you suffering? Are you suffering in isolation? Are you suffering with a mask so that nobody knows what you are walking through right now? Because if you're by yourself, you're wrong. The Lord designed you for community. He designed you for realness. He did not design you to wear a mask or to pretend. It is okay to be exactly where you are right now. Maybe you feel forgotten today. Maybe you're carrying the weight of bitterness and your disappointments, and you have no idea where to even begin to worship. Hebrews 12:12, this is one of my favorite verses. Therefore, strengthen your tired knees and your weakened hands, and make straight the paths of your feet, so that what is lame may not be dislocated, but healed instead. How do we strengthen ourselves? Where does that strength come from? The feet of Jesus. Through worship, even if it's a sacrifice, even if it's painful. Like, God, I just don't see what you're doing, but I'm going to praise you and your goodness, even if I don't believe it right now. I'm going to sing it and say it and worship you until I believe again. That's okay too. It's okay to be honest with yourself and say, you know what? I don't believe you're good right now, but I know. It's like muscle memory of your faith. When the life kicks you in the teeth, you go back to what you have learned and you reassure your heart before the Lord. You go back. I don't believe right now, but I know it. And that is where your faith is. That is where we show ourselves and we set ourselves apart from the world. Because the rain falls on the just and the unjust. Bad things happen to good people. It just happens. We see it in our world today. But we rely on the muscle memory of our faith, of the mornings where we get up and we are diligent and we open the Word and we encounter the Father. That is what sustains us. So Joseph interprets the dreams. He's forgotten. And then for 2 years, he stays in prison. And then Pharaoh has a dream. And the cupbearer is like, oh, wait, I know a guy. And he's brought to the throne room. And he interprets the dream. Well, first the Pharaoh says, I heard you can interpret dreams. Can you interpret? And he says, I am not able. It is God who will give you a favorable answer. Again, his confidence is in the Lord. It's completely shifted. And he saves many people because he relied on the Lord. He protects them from famine because God answered him in a way that only God could do. And he also brings restoration to Joseph's family. He reunites him with his brothers. And he tells them, you planned evil against me, but it is not you who sent me here. God sent me here. Your testimony is meant to be shared for the survival of many people. It is meant to be a catalyst to the lost and dying world. Why is our hope not evident? Why are we not comfortable to share that we are broken? Why are we wearing masks of perfection to the very people who are so desperate for Jesus? They can't see through the mask. His hand is not so short that he cannot save. He still restores what the locusts have eaten. He still turns our dread into worship. Some of you have allowed your spirit of bitterness to take root. You have allowed disappointments to snatch your voice. You have allowed suffering to steal your song. You have allowed circumstances to steal your worship. Sweet sisters, it should not be that way. We have to get back to worship that is rooted in who God is and not in our circumstances. Little children, let us not love in word or speech, but in action and truth. This is how we know we belong to the truth, and we reassure our hearts before him, because God is greater than our heart, and he knows all things. Dear friends, if our hearts do not condemn us, we have confidence before God, and we receive whatever we ask from him, because we do what he says and what is pleasing in his sight. Don't leave here today with unspoken disappointment. Don't leave here today with the stirring of the Spirit and do nothing about it. If you feel today God is pursuing you, let's do this today. Let's lay it at his feet today and not pick it back up. I want to do something a little bit different, and I talked to Nancy about it. I would like to do an altar call right now. If you feel like you are disappointed, if you feel like you are in a wilderness, if you feel like you're in pain and suffering, I want us to lay it down today. So if you would, I'm going to ask you to stand if you feel disappointed. Stand if you feel like you're in a wilderness. Stand if you want prayer. Stand if you feel forgotten. Stand if you feel isolated. Stand if you feel like rejection has pursued you. If you feel depressed. If you feel abandoned. If you feel lost for your family. Any of these things. And I'm going to ask you to come and pray and lay it down.
And humbly I come and offer my best to you. I know it's not much, but I've saved